welcome. I'm going to be, my wife Terry Ann is going to be joining me in a moment. She's just finished up on a call that she's been doing, so she's going to help me. For those of you that don't know me, again, my name is Douglas Peacock. I'm an energy healer, medical intuitive and business coach, and help people who are wanting to change their lives gain great results in whatever they're doing. And it comes down, and one of the things that I love is watching people be the heroes in their own lives and just being a guide for them to achieve what they're wanting to do. So again, if you want to try and find out where I am, it's at douglaspeacock.com. And that's where you can get hold of me and see some of the things we do. We work in a lot of areas with energy. Everything comes from an energy and from the core of the essence of who we are. Morning, guys. Good to see you. Is that Heather, Ken, Jermaine, Arthur, and Tony? Here she comes. Now, see, Terry Ann, she just cut off a call. And one of the things, she said she had to do her hair. I said, what's the problem? I've done mine. And if you look on the astral plane, you'll see it's much the same as hers. So that's good.
Not what I said, but anyway.
So yeah, and those who you, Terry Ann, I'll let her introduce herself a little bit.
I'm his wife.
Yeah, you're my wife and the brain trust.
I have no idea what we're talking about today. He just said, can you come and join me today?
So basically, guys, what I wanted to look at is, because we went out, I poked my head out in the garden this morning. I poked my head out and looked at our garden that we built this morning, and we've already got sprouts poking up, starting to come up. So one of the things that I wanted to touch on in this time where we are is, for you to create change in your life, thank you.
Sorry.
For anyone to create change in their life, one of the big things that we've got to look at is, well, hold on, the environment that we're sitting in, or the environment of our lives, or the house, for us with the garden out there, because I want to use that as a metaphor, and how we ended up with the end result we did. We the first thing is you look at your environment. If you're not getting what you want, or if you place a fear at the moment, you got to look at the toxins that the fear is bringing up. And if you're not liking the fear and all that garbage that's there, and that, you've got to do something about it.
Did you talk about this in one of your previous Facebook Lives?
No.
This week?
No.
None of it about the environment?
Oh, a little bit, yes. Why?
Okay. No, just on a double do.
No, I'm going a different angle, honey.
Yeah, okay.
The thing with the environment that I'm looking at is about the mind and what we're thinking. And you got that quote from Bob Proctor about the acorn. You remember that? No? Okay.
I know the story, but yeah.
Yeah. And well, basically, the nuts of it, of what we look at, is for the acorn, if you've got a plant, it sits in gestation, and a lot of us are sitting in gestation ready to go, but we're not taking off. And a lot of it's because of the environment that we hold ourselves in. We don't have the great nutrients or mindset or love, as I keep coming back, loving kindness in ourselves, to allow ourselves to ignite and be in the essence of who we truly are. And so we continue in our environment with our thoughts and our emotions just running cycles on getting the same old results. We think we're thinking, but all we're doing is having the same thoughts as we had yesterday. So one of the things that I wanted to sort of just bring to light and bring to the awareness on creating the change, there's a few steps that we've got to do. Do you want to touch on something?
No. Oh, then you run with it.
Okay, so one of the things that we're gonna, when I look at the garden, and because the garden is no different to an aspect of our life in our house. We've got our house, we've got our property, and with the COVID-19, we decided to look at, because of going to the shops, and that we decided that we wanted to make a garden bed in our place. So the first step about it.
Well, actually, when you look at our spare room, all you saw was a garden shed and pebbles, and it was really, really ugly. So this was my excuse to be able to get a garden out there, so that when you look out the spare room, you see your beautiful flowers and greenery.
See what I got to work with?
By the way, who else has a garden? Does anyone else have a garden and grow their own veggies or grow their own vegetables, basically vegetables or fruit? If you do, pop it in the comments. I'd love to know how many other people have used this time or who already did have a garden. Just asking.
Yeah, so the first thing that we did, and this is the first thing that you've got to look at in your life, you know, because I want you to map this back onto your life, is we, like Terry Ann said, looked out the window and we saw something that we didn't like. So whereabouts in your life, when you look out your windows, your little peepholes, that you see something in your life that you don't like, and you know you want to change it. So the first step is to see it. Not hard, not rocket science, pretty basic. Quite often we trip over the bloody thing all the time. The second step is we made a decision. We had a conversation. She told me what we were going to do.
I told you my desire on the end picture of what I wanted.
She painted a picture. She got the image in her mind, and she put the image of it in her mind and my mind. I went out, measured it up, and saw what we needed to do. And I thought, well, that's not too bad. And
How can I make it bigger?
And so we went out, and I did the costings on what I thought it was going to cost. And you look at it in your life. You go, okay, so you go to look at the change that you're wanting to make in your life, and you start asking yourself, okay, so what's this going to cost me? Geez, do I got to go do a course? Do I got to retrain myself? And this is where a lot of stuff where we're at the moment, where we're working at home and living at home at the moment, where we are doing things differently. Like next week, we're lucky our son Jermaine gets to stay at home another bloody week. And he does homeschooling. We're lucky enough that we've got one child, and he's got a good school that has a good computer system, and he's got a computer and his iPad and that. Some poor families have...
And he's also a very academic child that we can pretty much trust to, you know, sit in front of the computer, do the work that he needs to do.
Takes after someone here. But the thing that we look at is, you know, other people out there aren't so lucky. So how do they set up their environment to make it work? Okay, so the first thing is we saw what we needed to do, what we wanted to do. We got some, we chunked it down. Terry gave pictures after. I went and did my construction in my head, showed her what I was thinking of doing. She thought it was too big, and we went and did what I did. And so basically what we went on is we made a decision to go ahead and do it. Then the next step is, this is where a lot of you guys out there are probably doing things, and you get to a certain stage and you go, yeah, I want to do that, and you make the decision, yeah, I'm going to do that, and that's where it stops. Go.
Which means, and so this is something that I do a lot with my coaching clients. So the question that I always ask people then is, have you made a decision, a committed decision, or are you just making preferences? Via preferences rather than decisions. Decisions are commitments that there is no excuses or anything else that comes into it. A decision is a done deal. It's something that, yep, absolutely draw a line in the sand. So what you want to ask yourself, and this applies to all areas of your life, is, are you making decisions in your life, or are you making preferences?
So cool. So then the next stage that you'll notice as you've done this and you start making that change in your life, whichever area of your life you want to put this in, and you start going in that area, like for us, we went to Bunnings. I had a budget of what I was expecting to spend, what it was, and I took the boss with me, and when you go to Bunnings, you always get extra stuff. I don't know why. And
he didn't communicate his budget to me, by the way, until we got to the counter and it was all rung up. So there was a miscommunication there. I work on what I want. What I want. Don't worry about anything else. Just what do you want? Go get what you want. And I say that to most people. What do you want? Get what you want. Don't
settle.
Don't settle. Thank you.
Yeah.
Don't settle for anything. I always remember someone saying to me when I was very young, "You always want the top of the line. You always want the best of this. You were born with a silver spoon in your mouth." But you know, and I took that in a negative way and never really embraced it. But now that I know more about how the universe works, screw everything else. What do you want? And go for that. Get that every time. That's my rant.
And so we did. We got all the gear and ended up, came home. And then so the second step is don't be scared. You know, you think you're going to know what it's going to cost or what you got to, effort you got to put in to creating the change for the new environment in your life. And you may, oh, geez, it's going to cost this much. So you balk and you pull back. And you don't allow yourself to commit to get the best out of what you want. So you're going to get a half-assed result. So one of the things that we do, okay, well, let's go for it. And as Terry Ann's great at that, she says, no, if you like chocolate ice cream, don't eat strawberry ice cream. Have chocolate ice cream. That always comes back to ice cream.
Yeah. And if you like ice cream, don't get Weight Watchers. Get the ice cream that you want. If you're going to go all out, go all out. So the first thing is, what do you want? Decide, or should I say, get clear on what you want. Get a clear picture of what it is that you want. Second thing is decide that that's what you want and that's what you're going to get. That would be step 2.
Commit. Step 3, commit.
Well, make the decision. Step 3, commit to the decision.
Commit to the decision and then take action. It's about taking action. It's doing something towards what you're wanting to get. And so this is where we went and got the stuff. We then came home. And then when you look in your life, when you look at this thing, then you've got to clean out the environment that's there that needs cleaning out. It's like doing a renovation on the house. The first part of that sucks because you've got to pull all the dirty crap down. And at the garden, if you saw photos on my Facebook page, you'll see that they did a good job. I was project manager.
Well, the other way that I look at it is you've got to make space. So sometimes when you're wanting to bring something new into your environment or into your life, you have to get rid of the old and make space for the new to come in.
Yeah. It's like your desk. If your desk has got heaps of crap all over it, there's no way you can bring anything else, new books or anything in because of all the stuff. So
what we had out the back, just to give you an idea, is we had all these old bricks and old dirt and there was the old door out there and it was almost like a little bit of the junk stuff. And so all that had to be cleaned out before we could put the new garden in.
Yeah. And then the other thing that we did was we made it a family thing, so we all felt connected and all got a part in this. And so basically then we went and built it. Yeah, I'm an ex-plumber and worked in the building industry for over 20 years, so I've got a great, I can use most of the power tools. But the thing is our 11-year-old son, we got him out there and he put it together. I didn't do anything. I just did the heavy lifting. Well, part of the heavy lifting. But Jermaine, I showed him how to drill the holes, put the screws in. He did the whole lot. So the thing is, we created an environment there where we were working as a team to make it all happen. And we worked together. Usually I just go and do the stuff on my own, but this time Terry Ann and Jermaine came out and helped, and it felt so much better. So, as an old pattern of yours, just to try and do it alone, I know it's a big one that I used to have, used to have.
Working on.
Yeah. And so, you ask yourself, do you try and do everything yourself? Do you try and make the changes in your life and try and work it out yourself? Or do you ask for help? That's a biggie one that we really look at and say, hey, geez, you're trying to do campaigns. I try and do it and it takes me forever and a day to get one thing done. All you got to do is ask the help desk. They help you. Geez, I never knew that. Really crazy.
You're talking about so many different topics you can do Facebook Lives on today.
Yep. Okay.
Because on that, because I just want to say, how many of you don't ask for help for things that you think that you should already know, or that you are concerned about what other people think? I think one of the greatest lessons that I've learned when it comes to this journey of abundance that Doug and I are going down at the moment, abundance in all areas of our life, is that's probably one of the biggest things. Those who are very wealthy, and I mean not just financially wealthy in all areas of their life, have big teams around them. They have big support structures, whether that's family structures, whether that's business structures, whether that's financial structures. They have big structures around them where they're asking for help. So that's one thing that I would, put out to everybody, is if you're one of those people who are very independent, like I used to be, is look at ways that you can ask for help from others, even if you're very capable at doing it yourself, because it's about bringing that support and help in so that you can do the things that you are best at doing. That's how you shine brighter in the world.
Yeah, that could be the one little thing that you change in your environment today, that one little seed that you begin to ask.
How many of you listening live right now or on the replay, if you're watching this on the replay, give me a thumbs up if you know that you're guilty of perhaps doing things all on your own, being very independent, probably very capable, and struggle quite a bit before you reach out and ask help. How many of you, in fact, why don't you give me a thumbs up if you know that you've been guilty of that, or give me a thumbs down if you know that, no, you're pretty good with that. You ask for help all the time. Well, a few thumbs up coming through, right? So I know I'm not alone there, yeah?
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Sorry, I went down that rabbit hole.
No, that's awesome, because that's a biggie. That's a biggie for a lot of us. And so then the next thing that we look at is we're looking to change our environment of what's going on, because for us to create something new, we then have to start putting in the good soil. And once we've got our structure built, and this is where we build a really good, strong structure of, okay, this is what I'm doing, this is where we're going. We made a structure. We didn't compromise. We actually did it properly. And then this is where then we put in really good, fertile soil. And this is why I'm doing these Facebook Lives to help people to join the Healing Facebook group that I do, is to hold you in good fertile soil where you're cleaning and changing the electrical magnetic field and resonance in your frequency and your vibration, so that you're then able to attract and create that which you desire, because we become the magnet that creates what we desire. And
thank you for all those thumbs up. It's good to see that we're not alone, by the way.
And when we allow that to happen, and then of course then you plant the seeds of what you want to create. And Terry M picked lots of blooming seeds, and we've got all sorts of things in the garden. But the point that really came through, it's been 5 days since we did this. Hey Matt, 5 days, that's all it's been.
And someone's been out every single morning saying, is there anything there? Is there anything there?
But they arrived today. The little plants arrived. Woohoo!
How excited he is. You know how we said it was a family thing? Our son hasn't been out once. Not once has he gone to check it.
Hey, the cat has. The cat enjoys it. But the thing is that we look at is the funny thing that we look at with the plants as they come up. It took 5 days. So you create this new environment inside of yourself. Don't expect change to happen on the first day. If it does, great. Yet when you're resonant and sitting in the feeling tone of this new way of being, it doesn't take long before you start to see the small changes. And much like Terry Ann jokes at me going out there every day and looking at it, it wasn't every day, it was twice a day. But when you go out, if you know, it's like you don't go out there and pull the plant little seeds and see, hey, you're growing, go. You don't do that. You allow yourself to hold that environment of loving kindness for yourself and allow it to begin to grow. And what will happen is your thought processes will change, your attitudes will change, the way you're approaching things changes, and you become just different. Your course just changes.
Well, what you're saying is, so we planted the seed. So a zucchini seed is always going to be a zucchini seed. A cucumber seed is going to be a cucumber seed, and so on and so forth. When you plant that seed, like the seed already has a destined path on what it's going to become. In terms of, it's not going to change, zucchini's not going to change to a lettuce, for example. It knows its destined path. And when we plant that in a fertile or a good environment, similar to us, similar with our thoughts, similar with our ideas. What that does is when you're really clear on what your path is and what you're wanting your end result to be, is you will attract all of the things that you need to you. So just like those seeds had a destined plant, destined pathway on where they were going and what they were going to end up with. They've drawn the nutrients out of the soil, the water, the sunlight. They've drawn everything to them, and sure enough, that's enabling them to grow. It's exactly the same as us.
Yeah, they were just put in a very fertile environment, and the way you put yourself in that fertile environment is what I always say. You come back to being in the loving kindness inside yourself. You let go. You forgive yourself for anything where you were hurting yourself. You forgive yourself for maybe not getting it yet. You may forgive yourself and just be in the kindness in yourself of where you find yourself. It's not right or wrong. It's just where you are. But if you've now made a choice to change, you can really motor through. And this beautiful experience that the world's having at the moment of being able to stop and look to change what we don't like and actually change our way of approaching things is such a great opportunity. So you've got the opportunity there. And so if you need a hand to change your garden, someone here knows how to do a great job. But one of the things is
I was going to say, just to relate what Doug's talking about there, back to COVID as well, because this is where these Facebook Lives actually came out of, was all the stuff that was going on about the COVID-19 stuff and what's happening in our environment. Is if you look at it, if you just have a really clear picture of what you want your environment to be, internally and externally, but more so if you hold it internally, you'll find your external environment will change to match that. Just like that seed in the ground, it's got its destined path. If you internally know what your destined path is, you will attract that to you. And I'm going to share a story Doug may have shared with you. Monday, Tuesday, I had a migraine.
No,
I was crook as a dog on Monday. I don't get migraines very bad, but when I do get them, they are no bright lights. I'm nauseous. I can't do anything. It pretty much incapacitates me. But it came about, and I looked and I always ask, my migraines are always from mental stress one way or another. And I think what it was all the negativity. I'd been doing a lot of research on the COVID-19, the conspiracy theories. I had so much information being sent to me by friends and not friends and colleagues and you name it. It was almost like so overwhelming, my brain went into shutdown. And there was not much light in there. And I had to make the decision, and I got a very clear message actually, to cut it all off. And to remember who I was, to remember to stay in the light, to remember to keep my environment clean. Now, as a result of that, one particular group and some work I'm doing in a group, I'm doing quite a bit of work with at the moment, that was actually probably a big part of the stuff that was coming through. And there was a couple of people who were sharing lots and lots and lots of stuff, and even down pedophilia pathways, like just really horrendous. And one of the things I said, I don't think it's good for the business. I don't think it's good to be sharing within our community. But I was getting strong messages that I wasn't the one to go into battle to say, stop, everybody needs to stop this, because it's not my company. So what I did though was I decided on how I wanted my environment to be. And how I wanted it not to be a part of my everyday life. And this was in our admin channels and things like that through one of our platforms. Interesting enough today, the call that I was on just before this Facebook Live is a few of the other directors in the company had made a decision to remove all of that information out of our main information channels, to remove it out of our admin channels, to remove it out of the company and create a whole new server and a whole new platform that if people want to discuss that, they can do that themselves, but it has nothing to do with the work that we're doing in the company. So I look at that and go, do you know what? For one way or another, for me holding on to my desire and what I want to do for my life and keep my environment clean, well, guess what? It's just been kept clean externally through, I haven't even had a conversation. I was meant to have a conversation with one of the directors this week about it all. And I haven't even needed to have that conversation. I was just very strong on, you know what, that's it. My environment's staying clean and I'm not allowing this in from any channels. And there's your end result. So things do happen when you make that committed decision at the very, very beginning and hold true to your beliefs and your faith and what it is that you want. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Did that come out clean enough?
The big thing about that is it's strong intention, and she she fell in the muck, went in there deep into the mud, and she actually got a healing, which is very unusual for me to give her one, but yeah.
He's pretty good.
So we cleared it out, we cleared the energy out, and that's basically what it was. She was just covered in crap. But we changed the environment, and she held true, stayed committed to what we believe where we're going, and we're finding now it's just powering off. So anything else you want to put there? You're good. Yeah. Okay, guys, and just remember, like for us, like with the plants, it only took 5 days for the environment for the new to start coming out once we committed to it. Now we've got some cool little plants popping up. I'll go out and check this afternoon. I'll count how many more there are. So, hey guys, enjoy, and remember, you. If
you have any questions,
yep.
By the way, if you have any questions about any of the material that Doug's sharing with you guys, or any questions that we about some of the topics we raised today, then please feel free to put them in the comments, because I'll certainly jump on and have a look. Doug jumps on and checks questions every single day. So if there's anything that you want to ask, make sure you pop it in the comments.
Yeah, sure. Cool. Yeah, and so again, for those that are wanting to join us on the 10:30 healing, we'll go into the energy of this more, where I'll take you into the environment and sit you in the environment of this place for you to make the change effortlessly and easily. And this is what this group's about, holding you in that place. And we just keep going in there deeper and deeper. So guys, enjoy, have an amazing day. Keep smiling.
And if you like what you're hearing and like what you're watching with this, then please share it with your friends, or please invite some people to come along, because the more people we can spread this light to, the more change we can affect, and the sooner we'll be out of this whole COVID-19 thing.
Yeah, cool. Okay, guys, have an awesome day, eh?
Have a great day, guys.
Cheers.